Hello and welcome to Hiblio TV. My name's Paul Norrish and I'm your host for today's conversation. If you're joining us for the first time, a very warm welcome to you. If you're a returning viewer, it's great to have your company this afternoon. The Dementia Friends campaign is about educating people and raising awareness about dementia and the things that can make a difference to someone living with the condition. Joining me in the studio to talk about this is Dementia Friends champion, Gina Awad, and it's a real pleasure to have you in the studio today. So
thank you, Paul.
If you'd just like to introduce yourself to our viewers, that'd be great, Gina.
So my name's Gina Awad. I'm a Dementia Friends champion and I live in Exeter. So most times I deliver around the city. I began as a Dementia Friends champion about 18 months ago, and I've run 65 sessions over that time.
A lot of sessions.
That's
delivered
a lot of
in
sessions,
a short
isn't it?
space of time.
Yeah.
So for our viewers who might be tuning in, not knowing too much about Dementia Friends,
yeah.
What is it essentially? Okay,
so Dementia Friends is, in my opinion, a trailblazing social action movement that began 3 years ago, and the idea was at the time to make 1 million people dementia friends. That was actually achieved last April, which is really exciting. And now we have, as it stands now, we've got 1.5 million dementia friends across the UK. To become a dementia friend, it's about basically giving people an understanding of dementia and the small things that could make a difference to people living with dementia and their families and the community.
So that was, so I understand, let's be clear, it's run by the Alzheimer's Society in behind.
Yes.
With money that came from government initially.
I think it came from government initially and partly public health, yeah, so kind of linked in, and it's kind of moving on now. So it's an amazing campaign.
But the campaign is essentially about, correct me if I'm wrong, about changing the way we think about dementia, acting with dementia.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, when we say changing the way we think, it can even be things like terminology. So rather than say somebody is suffering with dementia, you'd say, you know, and whilst to pick up on that, they may, yes, there will be times where they will be suffering, but they don't want to be told they are suffering because it kind of minimises who they are. So it's about basically saying that they are living with a dementia.
And we've had people come in and talk on the sofa about, and it's living well with, you know. And people often say with the dementia, we suddenly see the condition and not the person.
Yes.
And that's the thing that we've picked out in the various different conversations we've had. So what's involved? I like the idea of Dementia Friends. 1.5 million people signed up in a short space of time.
Yeah.
But what's involved? What's the commitment?
Okay, so to become a dementia friend in the sessions that I run, it's attending a 1 hour free session. So anyone can attend. If you're under 18, you need to sort of attend with an adult, be accompanied by an adult. But it's about dispelling some of the myths around dementia. So one of the key messages, there's 5 key messages the government want us to get across, and one of them is it's not a natural part of ageing, because it's not. A lot of young people, and I've met a lot of younger people that are living with a dementia. So if people are under 65 living with dementia, they would be it would be termed as young onset dementia.
Right.
And another, picking up on what you just said a moment ago, Paul, is that there is more to the person than the dementia. And it's about seeing the me in the word dementia, the person behind that. You know, I've experienced lots of scenarios where people have said to me, you know, there's no point talking to X because they won't remember who I am. But actually, does it matter? I mean, I know that's difficult when it comes to families and friends, but if I'm seeing somebody that may be in a care home that's living with dementia and I might see them a week after and they don't remember who I am, yes, that's difficult, but actually in the moment, the time that I'm with them, they're really enjoying it. So it's about meaningful connections as well. So, I've digressed a bit, haven't I? But basically the sessions, they are dispelling some of those
So
myths.
on the website, just correct me if I'm wrong, so there's 2 routes to getting involved. One could be I could sign up online and I can watch the video that's available.
Yes.
But actually what the alternative is these information sessions, and they run locally across the country.
They run locally, so there are over 10,000 Dementia Friends champions like me across the country. It's a lot of people.
Have you all been cloned?
No, we just.
But there's lots of you.
There's lots of us
exciting.
all over the place, and you know, which is superb. So you know, there's a lot of us doing this work, and you don't have to go out and do as many sessions as I do. You could, you know, some people become a champion to actually do, you know, deliver those those sessions within their workplace as well.
And we're going to come on to the workplace. So when you talked about eligibility and who can apply, is it something that's over 18 or can it be younger? You mentioned being accompanied with someone.
Yeah, it's you know, if I was running a public session, you know, under 18 could come with an adult. But you know, I go into schools and deliver sessions as well. So we have different resources for people that are for young people and for people that are under 18. So the resources are slightly different. So going back to your question before about what happens in the session, whilst we're going through the key messages, we're also raising awareness, which goes a long way to reduce the stigma. And I think just talking about it, Paul, you know, if you think 20, 30 years ago, we wouldn't mention the word cancer. And, you know, we talk about it now because it affects so many of us in our everyday life, whereas dementia, you know, we're getting there, but it's a lot slower. But my aspiration is to be able to talk about it in a positive way.
So I've gone online and I've signed up and I'm coming to one of your information centres. How many people are generally in that group?
That really differs. I've run sessions with 5 people. I've run sessions with 50 people. Obviously, logistically, there's different challenges with the larger groups, but I mean, I can honestly say every single session I've delivered has been incredible, all inspiring from different people, because people share some of their personal stories, which makes it really human.
And different walks of life, I imagine.
Totally different walks of life. Sessions. Sometimes people that attend, certainly to my public sessions, are people that maybe have a family member that they feel may have a diagnosis of, may have a dementia, but haven't had a diagnosis. So they're curious to find out a little bit more about it, and that can be really helpful.
And the Dementia Friends offers that information to raise awareness.
Yeah. So I think that's really important.
So when we talk about becoming a Dementia Friend and signing up, and there is a bit that's done online, because one of the questions that we must crop up is, I don't have access to the internet.
Okay, yeah.
Can I still get involved?
You can still get involved, absolutely. You know, you could tell a friend that you're interested, they can log you on. Also, you could go to the local library potentially and hopefully get some support about being logged on to join as a friend that way. Or if you're coming to an information session, there are public sessions that are available all over the UK, as well as private sessions that we're sort of recruited to do as well.
Great. Now, you mentioned that it's really interesting about organisations. So this is very much on an individual, on a personal level. I might be a carer, for example. I might be a family member, because dementia touches lots of people.
Absolutely.
You know, the numbers shocked me when I realised how many people are potentially living with dementia in the UK. So can organisations, do Dementia Friends get involved in organisations?
Yeah, organisations, for example, I've approached some organisations, well, a lot of organisations, and said, you know, can I come in and deliver a session? Now, some have said yes. Through my conversation on the phone. Some have said, I don't really understand it, can you tell me more? So I'd say, well, if I can come in and have a chat with you about it, I can explain it a bit more. And I think when they meet me and they realise my passion, and they also understand it's the biggest health and social care challenge of the century, why would they not? We're all going to be touched, and if we're not now, we will be. So I think that's really important.
So is Exeter working towards being a dementia-friendly city?
I'm so excited about that. Yeah,
well, that's exciting.
It's really exciting. I know we're going to talk about that in April when I come on and talk about dementia-friendly communities. But going back to Dementia Friends, which is what we're talking about today, you know, there are a lot of organisations in Exeter, other than the ones that I've delivered, you know, that are more, you know, have become Dementia Friends.
So there is benefits for organisations and businesses to get involved in Dementia Friends. Because some of these people, if you're selling products, these are your customers.
Yes.
And understanding most probably when they come in, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, they might be taking some time working out change.
Yes.
Or not placing that order particularly as fast as you want them to.
Yeah.
And the Dementia Friends will help you.
I think what the Dementia Friends sessions does is raises the awareness, reduces some of the myths around it. So people just have a more caring. I'm not saying people aren't caring, of course they are, but I think to have understanding can increase compassion. So, for example, if somebody was in the queue at the post office and they were struggling with their money, and the person behind, if they've become a Dementia Friends, they might be thinking that person may have dementia, so they might be a little bit more patient, or they might help them. those sorts of things.
Absolutely. So you're a champion. You've already
I am.
said there's about 10,000 across the country. That's a volunteering role?
It is. It's very much volunteering. Some people choose to do it, as I said, within their businesses. My sort of life is quite sporadic. I do lots of different things. So I'm able to and I choose to offer some evening sessions. I choose to use some lunch times and afternoons when I'm not working and doing a degree to do that. So what I'm doing is maybe a little bit extra than other champions, but we are what we are, and we do what we can do.
So if someone is watching and they're already a dementia friend and they've got their knowledge and they're thinking, actually in my area of the country there isn't a champion that's actually, sounds like you're running these information sessions, you're engaging with local businesses.
Yes, indeed.
You're being there for people to offer advice.
Yeah.
And that details again are available on the website.
Yeah, details are on the website. And, one of the things that when I'm delivering my sessions is something I'm inspiring people to do is saying, well, if there's somebody within the group that are really keen, I said, why don't you train as a champion? It's free. It's a 6-hour free session, and the sessions are run every quarter all over the country.
And if we think now about some of the groups, and these are the information sessions that you're running, you must have had personal highlights that have happened
I have.
in those. Are you able to share?
I'm just thinking about one I did at Westex School in Exeter actually last year. I delivered a large one. I co-ran it with another champion, and there was a little boy. So there were 100 11-year-olds, and there was a little boy, and he said, why dementia? Why now? Why are you telling me this now? Why didn't I know before? And I said, that's a really good point. Some profound moments. And so we talked about that. And then there was another little boy that said, could I catch it? Because of, again, lack of understanding. And another child said, I'm going to go back and tell my mum and dad about this because I don't think they know. And actually, I just thought of another personal highlight, Paul, that actually 2 personal highlights that happened last week, and whilst it's not about recognition, I had 2 gentlemen over a period of a week that approached me in the community and actually said, Gina, I've seen you in the paper and what you're doing, it's amazing. I'm not touched by it personally, one of them said, but actually a lot of my friends are, and I just think what you're doing is great. And there was a real sense of making a difference in the community.
And that was one of the other things, I understand with the campaign, I might not know someone that's been impacted by dementia, but that's still about getting involved because it's about raising education and
and that's not a reason not to be doing it. So I think it's and what I say to business, if they say, well, what's the point, I would say, well, it is the biggest health and social care challenge of the century. There's going to be over a million people living with it in the next 10 years.
Living with dementia.
We're living with a dementia, and there's over 100 types, and people don't know that, so just giving them that information is making them think, wow, I didn't realise that.
So the Dementia Friends campaign has 1.5 million people already signed up. It's got another target?
Yes.
Is it
I think it's 4 million by 2020.
Okay.
And I really believe that we'll achieve it.
Fabulous. I've got 2 quotes I just pulled off the NHS England's website.
Oh, yes.
And these are the ones that struck me. So I love helping, and if I can make someone smile and help in any way that I can, then I'll know I'll be doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And this one was someone, knowing more about dementia will help me to understand what they are going through.
Yeah.
And that was from a carer who was caring for a loved one and wanted to know more about the condition because, we have good days with dementia and we can have also...
Absolutely, that's really interesting, and that's made me think about a quote that I saw on social media. I'm sure the lady won't mind if I share it. It's a quote from her son, and she has sort of illustrated it and made it all really attractive online now. So her 9-year-old son, whose grandmother has a dementia, grandmother or grandfather, said, Alzheimer's deletes cells, but it doesn't delete love.
Oh, love that.
And I thought, wow, that's profound from a 9-year-old.
And that's a nice way to end the programme. So thank you very much, Gina, for coming in. My thanks to my guest, Gina Awad, for joining me today. Dementia touches the lives of millions of people across the UK. Most of us know of someone with dementia, and becoming a dementia friend can make a difference to someone with the condition. For further information about getting involved, please follow the links accompanying this broadcast. I'm Paul Norris, this is Hiblio TV, and thank you for watching.